What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's J Bunny, and I want to welcome you to my Valentine's Day sign featuring a 3D Be Mine heart logo and 3D soft black roses tutorial. So yeah, let's get into it. For this project, I started off by using some extra wedding save the dates that I had left over from my wedding last year. I had ordered some extra, but of course you can use any kind of thick paper or cardstock that you have available in your house. So I started off by matching up the marbling designs as best that I could, and I centered one of the postcards in the middle, and then I started pasting 4 of them on top of that to make it as secure of a structure as I could, as I want the sign to not be too bendy. In this case, I used my hot glue gun and I simply just put as much as I felt was necessary to make sure that each of the postcards was totally secure, and I pulled off any of those little annoying strings as I was going along. And then what I did was I went back and reinforced any areas that I felt like I had missed. I followed this up by taking a 6 save the date and pasting it right on the front in the middle. This way my door frame had a nice centered look. Now I broke out my paper cutter and I made it into a perfect rectangle. So if you don't have one of these, you can for sure use scissors, but if you do have a paper cutter, I'd suggest the paper cutter. So after this, I did take a couple of extra save the dates that I had, since I do have like 500, and I cut them up just to reinforce the back of the structure. I don't want it to be bendy at all, so go ahead and reinforce as you see fit on your sign. After the base of my sign was done, I started working on the 3D Be Mine heart logo. So I picked out any heart logo that I liked from the internet. You can feel free to pick any one that you like. I like the pink design. And please note at the end, I know I called this a Be Mine heart logo sign. I did end up changing the heart in the middle, and I'll talk about that later, but I still wanted to show you guys this step. So yeah, take the heart that you printed out and I put it on top of a nice gold leaf piece of paper that I had to mount it to make it a little bit nicer looking. And then what I did was I took another one of those save the dates and I cut them into thin strips. And what I'm going to use these strips for is to make the heart pop out from the back of the frame. So I take them and I fold them in a kind of accordion style, just over on each other, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And I did this for 5 strips. You can make them a little bit thinner than I did, but it's okay to make them thick because you're not going to see them. So after I got them all folded up, what I did was I turned over my heart that I had cut out before, and I made sure my accordion pieces were nice and scrunched up, and I glued them one by one to the back of the heart logo. So you want to press down really good to make sure they're attached, and don't worry if they pop back up because you're going to be pressing down this on the sign after you're done. I put them all in the corners and one in the middle, just to make sure that the sign really popped out evenly and it wasn't leaning left or right in one particular way. So after I had that done, I took the base of my sign back out, I put glue on the bottom of the little accordion style pieces of paper, and I pressed down firmly so that the 3D heart sign would be adhered to the back of my sign very well. And that's what you should look like at this point. Ooh, it's looking pretty. So the next part I did was the 3D flower sign. I found these really nice soft black fake roses that I had in my closet, and I decided to clip off the little wire parts of the flowers and adhere them to my sign. I put one big glob of hot glue on the sign, and then I pressed down firmly on the roses, and I decided to start at the top in the center to make sure once I started putting my roses around that they'd all look nice and even. So for me, it's best to start in the center. You're going to repeat the same process, cutting off the little pieces of wire and gluing each rose one by one down to the outside of the sign to make a kind of black rose frame that will surround your 3D heart. Also, I did have these little leaf pieces that came with the flowers, and I snipped them up and decided to glue them to different parts of the frame as well, just to give it some diversity and to make it have some kind of interesting look. This is all up to you, and you can design the outside of the frame as you like, but I wanted to put the leaves in the middle to kind of be cuddling the heart, and then I did some more roses around that. So you're going to repeat the process of cutting and gluing each of the roses one by one around the edge of the sign. It might take you a couple minutes, but just make sure you take your time and use enough glue to securely hold each rose down, and make sure you press down firmly to make sure that each one is secure. It's okay if the bottom of the rose melts a little bit. My glue is really hot. You're not going to see that, so just make sure you press down firmly and that everything is exactly as you like it before you move on to the next rose. The more roses I put on, I really started to like how it looks, so I hope you guys like it too. And as you go along, feel free to add the greenery as you see fit, just wherever you see empty spaces or wherever you think it would look nice. I liked mine in the corners and one in the center just to give it an even look, and this is what I ended up with, and I think it is so pretty. So after this step, I wanted to cover up those little blank spots I had in the bottom right and left hand corners if you look really closely at the sign. So what I did was I made a simple bow. I wrapped the bow around itself and glued it to itself, and then I cut another little piece that I put around the middle to give it that bow shape. You guys can make the bow as you like, but I don't know, I just was trying to do it how I see other people do it online, and it seemed to look really nice in the end. So after I had that little basic bow shape, I went ahead and cut 2 little strips to come off as the base ribbons, and I also adhered that to the back of the bow. Keep in mind that this is some vintage ribbon that I got from the thrift shop, so it didn't cut exactly even because it was a little bit dry, but it was just so pretty that I wanted to use it. So yeah, I adhered that to the back of the ribbon, pressing firmly once again to make sure everything was secure. Trimming off any little extra fuzzies that I saw, and yeah, that's what I ended up with. So after that, I'm go ahead and put some glue on the corner of each of them, and yes, I ended up making 2 ribbons, so just repeat the steps that I showed for the first one. So yeah, once you adhere them to both of the corners, it ends up looking like this, and oh my god, it's looking so freaking cute. I hope that you're loving it. So the next thing I wanted to do was add some shine to my project, and for this I used some regular Elmer's glue and I dripped it onto the top, and then I took some thick white iridescent glitter that I had and started sprinkling it over the top of the glue. After doing the first 3 roses, I decided it would be much easier to put the glue on all of the roses and then do the glitter. So I went ahead and opened up my Elmer's glue, put a big lump of glue in a tray that I had, and used a popsicle stick to spread the glue evenly on each of the centers of the roses one by one. This was way easier than taking the glue directly out of the Elmer's glue container, so I highly suggest doing it like this. Plus you get a much more even spread of the glue, and it went really quickly. After the glue, I simply took a paintbrush and shook the glitter that I had over each of the roses one by one. As you can see, it just started to sparkle and shine, and I really like the look. Don't worry about being too messy or too neat, because the glue is going to dry clear, and any glitter that you have anywhere is going to look great, even if it's not exactly where you planned. Oh, it sparkles so nice on those black roses. I hope you love it as much as I do. The next step I wanted to do was to enhance the background of the door sign, so I took some Mod Podge that I had and brushed it all around with that same brush that I had been using before for the glue already, and I made sure to get it into all the little crevices that the eye could see on the sign. Feel free to use as much as you want because it's definitely going to dry clear, so just make sure that you have a nice even layer all across the back of the sign. After that, I took some really cute heart glitter / confetti that I got off of Amazon. I'll go ahead and put the link for that down below. It is so cute. I mean, the hearts are really little, but I mean, they're just so, did I say cute? They're so pretty. So I went ahead and sprinkled those all over the back and then moved them around with my paintbrush for anywhere that I had too much or too little. Don't worry, the Mod Podge dries clear. And then I took some more of that iridescent glitter I had and sprinkled it anywhere where I felt like it needed a little extra sparkle and shine on the back of the sign, just so that it would match the look of the roses surrounding it. So checking it out, I actually decided that I really didn't like that the sign said pretty girl, and I wanted to change it to be classic and say be mine. So I simply went online and found the cutest one that I could find and printed it out. What you want to do is go print out the sign of your choice. You probably want to do this first, but as you can see, it doesn't matter. You can always change things up at the end if you decide you don't love it. So yeah, I printed this one out, cut it out, and then I decided to mount it on a piece of red construction paper. So go ahead and take your little cutout part, glue it to the color of your choice, in this case red. Then go ahead and cut another heart shape following the same pattern around that one, leaving the border of the red around your original heart printout. Then what I did, and I went ahead and mounted it again on a second color to make it have two border colors, which I thought looked really nice. And this way it matched the pink ribbon and also the red heart glitter on the back of the sign, so it matched everything. Then go ahead and re-glue it to your gold 3D sign. Just press down firmly, you're not going to hurt it. And yeah, I ended up with this, which I love so much better than the pretty girl sign. I know it's personal preference, but I really loved it. Be Mine is the classic logo for Valentine's Day, and yeah, I think it just matched much better than the other pretty girl sign that I had before. So finally, we're at the last step of our craft, and since it's a door sign, you're going to want to add a nice little something to hang it up on your door with. So I used the same vintage pink ribbon that I had. I cut a nice length to it. You can make it as long or as short as you want, and I glued the end of each strip to the back of the sign. Make sure you use enough glue on this part because you want it to be secure. And yeah, here's the final product. It looks so cute hanging on the back of my front door. It's not waterproof, so I wanted to put it on the inside. Plus, hey, I wanted to enjoy it as much as possible. And I just love it so much. It's a classic look. It says be mine. It's very inviting. It's glittery, but no glitter's falling off onto my floor. And I used everything from my closet for free. So just use what you have in your house and you'd be surprised what great things you can make. So yeah guys, thanks for joining me on this DIY tutorial for this 2020 Valentine's Day. Please do like and subscribe and comment on this post to let me know what you're doing for this Valentine's Day. I am going to be releasing a couple more Valentine's Day crafts, so please do hit that notification bell as well so that you can keep up with all of the latest crafts, and I hope you did enjoy this tutorial. I can't wait to do some more crafts with you guys in the near future. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, and for anybody that either has a Valentine or doesn't have a Valentine, well, you're welcome to be my Valentine as well. Thanks for joining me, y'all. Hope you love it. Happy Valentine's Day.